Hello, everybody. My name is Satan herself, and I am so excited to bring you Creature Corner. This is a brand new GDQ Hotfix show where we feature games that feature non-human characters, mostly in the sort of player character role or protagonist role. I'm so excited to be able to bring you so many games featuring little guys and sometimes more humanoid style guys. You know, we've got Castlevania Symphony of the Night coming up tonight with Alucard as our main protagonist. So as long as they aren't a person, a human being, it goes. And speaking of that, we have an incredible show lined up for you all tonight with some games featuring transformations. I thought, what better way to show off the amazing games that we can have on Creature Corner than by having the absolute most possible creatures on screen. So we've got Super Mario Odyssey by Danger's Any%, so exciting. And then we've got Castlevania Symphony of the Night by Abby's Corner. And finally, we've got Sonic Colors Ultimate Egg Shuttle by New SR. So those are all amazing games. Y'all are going to want to park yourselves in your seat and stay there because we've got some critters coming up for you right now. And of course, as I just mentioned, our first one is Super Mario Odyssey Any% by Dangers. So get your caps, hold on to your caps and throw them because we're about to go on in. It is you.
All right, is it me? Hello, testing. Hello, hi. Yeah, hello. My name is Dangers. Now, some of you on the GDQ channel might have seen me before, but maybe not quite like this. I figured it would be in the spirit of the show to, you know, assume the personality of a creature myself. So that's why you're seeing me as my bird persona as of this moment. But I am here again doing Super Mario Odyssey, as is tradition. I just want to say thank you to Satan herself for inviting me onto the show. This is a super fun run, super exciting, super optimized. I admittedly have not been putting a lot of my focus into playing this game, so might be a little bit clunky here and there, but there are lots of cool tricks that I will be able to showcase, and we're going to take you through all of them. And also we're going to turn Mario into a bunch of kooky little guys, which is the whole point, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be fantastic. I love this run to death. This is like one of my favorite speedruns ever, and Dangers is so fun to watch play it. So let's get cooking.
All right. So in order to start this run, I'm actually just going to go into my Switch settings. Now, if I do nail this, it would be nothing short of a miracle because there is a very difficult trick in Cascade that requires me to nail it basically first try in order to make the cycle for what's about to happen. But essentially all you need to know, I'm setting my clock to this time right here on my console. I'll explain why when it becomes relevant. And we also have to wait a certain amount of time, but I will properly count you down at home and, you know, for the producers who are keeping track of the timer and stuff like that. But we do start here, and then we can sit on this menu for a little bit. But Super Mario Odyssey, still 7 years later, Mario's most recent full-blown 3D adventure, I suppose, following the footsteps of things like, you know, Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy. But only this time he has a cap companion, and as the name of the GDQ show suggests, you can use that cap companion to capture other critters and use their abilities, which we will be making very good use of along the way. Some to do tricks with, others just to do better platforming. And we are 3, 2, 1, and go. So yeah. Also, Mario kind of taking akin to Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit in this game. Probably the fastest way to get around in Super Mario Odyssey is rolling. Which is, I don't think something Mario has ever really done much of before. But
yeah, I think this is new to his movement kit. I say new.
It's possible that like maybe rollouts kind of count as that, but like this is like full-blown rolling is like the fastest way. This is also, if you're familiar with the game, you probably know that there are a lot of motion controls baked into this game, ones that you probably didn't even know about. So in order to roll the fastest and get these yellow sparks, I'm actually shaking my controller right now. So you might see my little model bouncing up and down a little bit. Who knows? But we make our way through Cap Kingdom. Now, the progression of Super Mario Odyssey is pretty simple. It's pretty linear. There's not a whole lot that you can do to kind of break the sequence like you can in other games. There's no like, you know, clipping out of bounds and finding yourself fighting the final boss or anything like that. You kind of just have to play through all of the kingdoms in order, getting the most amount of moons, or the minimum amount of moons that you can get along the way. This is Cap Kingdom first. Now, as I make my way through this room, I've captured the frog, and I'm kind of going in these like zigzaggy lines, which probably doesn't make much sense. You'd think that like a direct line would be a little bit better. But those zigzag lines are what we call vectors, and they actually do help us gain some speed. You'll notice that in the Moon Kingdom later as well. Okay, I went for a little bit of the left side there. That is a little bit faster if you can kind of hop up the railing. But unfortunately didn't make it. But that's okay. And now here's Topper. And don't get too used to him. Because now he's gone.
That is a creature we do not want in our corner.
No.
Be gone.
And to people's delight or maybe dismay, depending on how you feel about them, we only fight the Brutals. You know, as you're going through your regular playthrough of this game, you encounter the Brutals all over in the story. But we have cut it down in the any % run to, I think it's just 2 fights against the Brutals. It's this one, and then I guess the one that's the 2 rather that are in Bowser's Kingdom. Right. So yeah, we definitely go out of our way to make sure we don't interact with those guys, those bad critters at all.
Also, I'm seeing so many roll emotes in chat. Please keep those coming.
Yes, good.
So fun to see matching Mario out here.
He's going to be doing a lot of rolling, that's for sure. All right. So our second critter, I guess, because we captured the frog too. But our second critter is the Chain Chomp, just to blow this up here. And now here's this really hard trick that I was talking about. So the timer that I set at the beginning, I have about a 10 to 15 second leeway to get from here to Sand Kingdom, which is the following kingdom. If I miss this trick once, it's basically GG's, and I'm going to have to do some manual time adjustment in the switch clock. But let's see if I can get it. I'm going to go for it, that's for sure. Oh, yep. A little bit too far to the right. I'll give it a couple more tries. Oh, that's not a good angle on the wall. Okay.
We got time.
There it is, and then...
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll take that. You know what? Third try? Not bad.
Even part 2. That is such a great skip, and so much harder than it looks. So much harder. I have tried it. It takes a very high skill, like mastery and understanding of the game, and like the timing of all of your jumps and the height of all your jumps and stuff. So we call that trick Dino Skip Skip, which requires a little bit of a history lesson. The reason it's called Dino Skip Skip is because there used to be a trick. It was found really, really early in the game's development called Dino Skip, where you capture the dino that's like across the bridge. You capture that dino, and then you take a trampoline and jump really high into the air. And you can just kind of like dive up to this boss fighting platform here. And then later on down the line, maybe about 2 years later, somebody found that there was a teeny tiny little bit of floor that you could land on that big rock wall that basically reset your jumps and gave you enough height to be able to scale the wall like I just did. Saves about 10 seconds. And that's why we call it Dino Skip Skip, because we're skipping the Dino Skip. Yeah, it is criminal that we don't get to see the dinosaur capture in this run, though.
Unfortunately, yeah. He's just kind of snoozing in the background. Leave that critter be to have a little nap. That's not the only shenanigans we're going to get up to in Cascade Kingdom, though, because I'm going to try another out-of-bounds clip here. And we got it. Nice. So... that is what we call a moon clip. If I do my job correctly today, you're going to see a lot of those. Essentially, for one reason or another, we don't really know why, the game kind of treats Mario's You Got a Moon animation as being in like a different phase state in the game. And so if we can make Mario's position skewed in a way that we can kind of like put him in between a ceiling or a wall or something, and then trigger that cutscene, then we can phase through walls and through ceilings, and that's one of the first of many that you're going to see me do throughout the run there. That one, not the hugest thing. I just have to jump out of the alcove and back up again if I missed it, but some other ones are vitally important for the run to succeed. Or at least save a lot of time anyway.
Yeah, I don't feel like I internalized until I was making this show that Cappy was like kind of a strange little alien creature.
Yeah.
Also, that we just kind of hang out with this whole run. I love Mario as a franchise just for all of its really inventive characters.
I agree. And this game especially does a very good job because like every kingdom kind of has their own like critters, I guess, that inhabit the world. All right, so this is where I'm going to go into the menu. So that thing that I was mentioning at the beginning, the whole reason that I set my clock forward in the first place is because we're going to be doing a little exploit that we call DSTA, also known as Daylight Savings Time Abuse. So the seeds that you plant in the little planter pots in this game, they are actually based on your system clock. So we found out that Daylight Savings Time, which, you know, sets the clock forward an hour, once you pass a certain time on a certain day, counts for that because you go from 1:59 to 3 a.m. So if you set your clock before you do your run, then you don't actually have to go into your Switch menu. Daylight Savings Time gets abused and does the work for us, which is the whole purpose of setting your clock like that. Unfortunately, it does require you to be very precise because, again, you have to do that trick and cascade basically first try, as well as everything else in Cap and Cascade to a level of perfection of about 10 to 15 seconds, or else you miss the bus, basically. And then your run is over. So.
As mentioned. Yep.
Now, Sand Kingdom is just like...
just so cool.
Yeah, Sand Kingdom is just really fun to move around in. We'd have to collect, I think, 14 stars? 16 stars here. So I'm just kind of running around. Oh, we're going to see our first Sand Kingdom critter here, I think. The Bullet Bill.
Oh, yes.
I might not be able to get this trick now that I bonked my head. We'll see. If not, that's okay.
All of my fingers are crossed.
Yeah, the platform got in the way, unfortunately, but that's okay. I was going to attempt to do what we call a dram, or also sometimes affectionately referred to as a capture warp, which is this idea that, like, Cappy and Mario are working as a team, of course, right? And Mario can go and do some things and leave Cappy behind to capture enemies after he's accomplished the mission. So my goal there was to get Mario to go into the alcove, leave Cappy behind on top of the platform, and then when Mario grabbed the moon, Cappy would home into the Bullet Bill, and then he would basically warp up to the top of the stage without me having to do what I just did, basically.
I also just noticed while you were collecting that moon there, you also opened the other chest to get some coins.
Yeah.
And I may know the answer to this question, but is there relevance to getting coins throughout this run?
Yes, indeed. So we're going to be collecting the fastest moons in every kingdom that are possible. And with the routing and the way that it's worked so far, the fastest moons do include 3 shop moons. So we do need to use those coins for a little bit of shopping. Now, this is a quick little trick that you can do. So you basically just position yourself, hang on the wall, and with a well-timed release of the wall and a cap throw, you can actually just phase through it, which is really nice because that lets us clip into the back of the Sphinx room and grab a moon while staying out of bounds as well in the shifting sand room.
Walls are suggestions.
Exactly, and they definitely are in this game. You'd think for a game like Odyssey that's like a brand new Mario game, super polished, that it wouldn't be so easy to slip through the cracks, but oh boy. If you didn't know already, then you're about to know.
We're all going to become knowers very soon, Chet.
I mean, what? We've already been out of bounds twice, I think.
Yeah.
We're just getting started.
Just a warm-up.
And how many critters have we been so far? We've been a Bullet Bill, and a frog. That's good.
And a frog and a chain chomp.
A chain chomp and a golden chain chomp.
Oh, that's true. Okay, we're up to 4. Count
That's
with us,
good.
chat.
Yeah,
I
keep
want to
track
know
of all
how
those
many
critters at home.
creatures and critters that we end up being throughout this run.
So for the next kingdom, the game actually gives us a choice between we can either choose lake or wooded kingdom. Doesn't really matter which one you choose, but it is faster to just mash through and choose lake. So that is what we're going to do. Now there is going to be one kind of and we've also been like a warp zipper thing, like a spark zip, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
that
A little
counts as a critter.
sparky guy. Yeah, I feel like those in the fuzzies might be related. I feel like they have similar vibes.
Okay, what about the zipper?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's anything quite like the zipper in the game.
Oh, did I get this? Hold on.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Oh.
Okay. So that was an attempt at another moon clip.
That's a great one.
Luckily for us, there is a backup clip that we can do here.
You'll just have to go to twitch.tv/dangers to see more Mario gameplay. I know you're doing a lot of Iron Mario these days. So, you know, if the chat wants more Mario, they know where to go.
That's right. Iron Mario is a super fun challenge that I've been grinding away at. Yeah, Super Mario 64, which has its own kind of quirks and fun stuff. But yeah, I've got some Mario gaming going on. If you guys like Mario, and you get to see me be a bird sometimes, if that's also interesting. You know, keep the critter thing going.
Sometimes a cat is also there.
Yes, she was prominently featured on my stream today. Actually, she was being good and sitting in her chair. So, but yeah. So the clip that I just did there, I attempted to do the moon clip version, which does save a little bit of time because there's no like follow-up setup required. But that is late clip. Luckily, we are able to abuse a different form of clipping, which is called corner clipping, which we will see another example of later as well. But basically, think about every single time like a wall or a like ceiling and a wall collide together. Oops, what's happening here? There we go. There's like, you know, that makes a corner, right? But for some reason in this game, a lot of those corners didn't get filled in all the way. Like there is a crease. You might not be able to see it, but there are sometimes occasional times where you can literally just phase through that corner. And lucky for us, that late clip does have a very easy visual cue to take advantage of for making that trick consistent. So even though that isn't the fastest way, it is a still very good backup way and still pretty flashy too.
Backup strats are so important. Underrated.
And then, yeah, that thing that you saw at the end there, I talked to the mermaid through the wall. Basically, I was able to stand in front of the wall, turn Mario around, go into first person, then exit. And that kind of confuses the camera and throws it into the little secret room that the mermaid is standing in. And we're able to talk to her through the wall that way. It's a very kind of marginal time save as well. Just super fun little quirky thing you can do. And now we're into Wooded Kingdom, which is probably one of my favorite, but also least favorite kingdoms in the whole run. Because when it goes right, it looks amazing and feels amazing. And when it goes wrong, you cry a lot. So already off to a good start because I was supposed to grab that rock, but he did not do that. So I'm going to grab this one instead. We get to be a pretty cool critter in this kingdom. One of my favorites.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is going to be shot moon number 1. Do robots count as critters?
Yes, they sure do.
Okay, good. Then these little critters are selling me that moon, so very helpful little
Fantastic.
critter.
Yeah, I do want chat to count the amount of times we become a creature, but I don't think chat is going to be able to count the amount of creatures and critters that we do see.
Yeah, true.
on this run. There's a lot.
So now we are the uproot. Probably one of the most versatile captures in the game because it gives you a lot of vertical height very quickly. We're going to capture quite a few of these in Wooded Kingdom. We're going to use that one just to get up there. But now, our second moon clip. I don't know if I got it, actually. No, I didn't. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't mean that we have to kind of take a slower path through Wooded Kingdom, unfortunately, but
Scenic route.
actually,
It's
I
wooded.
think I'm supposed to go this way. So that would have basically opened up a pathway. That's probably like one of the most important moon clips in the game, but for this speedrun anyway. But it saves about 30 seconds, but I can still kind of show off some of the movement that would have needed to have happened in spite of that by going up this ramp.
I mean, clips are cool, but honestly, movement is just as fun to watch.
Exactly. So we can get all the way up here. You're not supposed to be up here this early in the kingdom, so I'm cheating a little bit.
What? I can't believe you'd do this. A speedrunner?
We're speedrunners, of course we do. All right, and that's going to get us ready for another moon clip attempt here. This one is probably one of the hardest ones in the game, so if I get it, it'll be nothing short of a miracle. Nope, didn't get it, but that's okay. The goal of that one was to clip through that wall and cut the corner of where we're going to be going in just a moment here.
Yeah, that one is so hard.
Yep, so this is where we go. We save about 7 seconds by accomplishing that moon clip, but that one's frame perfect, and also position is very finicky, as you can imagine, because you have to do a triple jump for that one.
And Mario's just wobbling all over the place, so I can't imagine.
And I just remembered that I didn't get that clip, so I actually have to get this moon as well. That's okay.
Creature down.
I guess I can do Flower Road skip twice. Yeah, again, you were saying movement is like super exciting to watch, and I agree with you. And I think that's why Odyssey is so fun to run, is because it's just like, you know, you never stop doing things that the game did not intend you to do at all. Like skip this gap without pressing that P switch over there. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that again.
Beautiful. I like how you just did it without thinking the first time, and this is why we've got Danger's gameplay going on. He's just like, you know, vaulting over this gigantic gap. Just like, oh yeah,
Boing.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, you know, when you, I guess when you play a video game for X thousand amounts of hours, it just kind of just comes out of your fingers. You just don't even know what you're doing anymore. You're just, you're just letting it happen.
Exactly.
All right, here's our
Beautiful
second instance of the uproot here.
We love the uproot. Definitely
Yeah.
one of my like top 5, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. He's also one of my favorites. And now we're up at the top of the kingdom, and this is where you would fight Spewart. But like I said, we only really fight the bunnies a couple of times, and Spewart is not any of them. So we're just going to go ahead and come down here instead. Grab this moon, and then we're going to do a sub area called the Flooded Pipeway Room, and that will allow for us to attempt another moon clip.
All of my fingers and toes this time are crossed.
Yeah, this one is
I'm
also...
hoping that's going to be enough.
This one's also very difficult, so... And that's already not a good start. That's okay. Oh, I think I was like 1 frame off from the cap throw, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, that looked really, really close.
Good recovery on the rest of the room, though, I gotta say. That room is cycle-based, so I kind of missed the boat by messing up the movement at the beginning, so the fact that I was able to not take any damage and skip the water cycle there is actually pretty impressive. Patting myself on the back for that one.
As well, you should.
And we're flying through. We're already past Wooded Kingdom.
Flying? I guess you can do that. You are a bird.
Yeah, there you go. That's the spirit. And we will be a bird later on in the game, too. That's important to note.
That's true. One of the best birds. That might be my actual favorite capture.
I think that
I'm not
one is my
completely
favorite.
sure,
Not
but-
biased. Not biased.
Never. Never. We're also going to be something that flies, but those are different.
Yes.
Well, not in this run, but you can be. Well, both bills count. They fly. They fly around.
Metro Kingdom has a lot of things that make you fly, but I don't know
It's
if
true.
they are supposed to fly.
we might expand the definition of what flying means.
Exactly. All right. So here's our first encounter with Bowser. Pretty straightforward fight. We're going to get right up in his face as much as we can. I missed that. That's okay.
We flew so high, we're in the clouds. Bowser also is here. The ultimate creature.
The ultimate creature, yes. One of my favorite Mario characters. Definitely a creature.
For sure. How did they even come up with Bowser? I think about this sometimes. I'm like,
the lore that I've heard about Bowser is that like his original sprite was supposed to be like a boar or something, which is why he has horns. And then they kind of evolved him into a turtle later on down the line, I guess, in his development. But yeah, I don't know why
he's what happens.
You know, it does happen. It's funny that a lot of like character design choices are basically just video game limitations. The same was true for why Mario has overalls to kind of distinguish his pants and stuff.
He's very distinguished.
Right, Lost Kingdom is probably one of my favorites in this whole run. We do get to be, we get to use critters to our advantage.
That's true. That is true. We do
I don't think we capture any here.
Undisqualified.
Yeah, and I like this kingdom mostly because it's just like swift movement. Basically, just like I'm clenching the entire 2 minutes that I'm here. Like it's just nothing but very, very like high velocity gameplay this whole time. Now, I specifically went around the kingdom a certain way because I wanted to avoid Klepto, which is a bird. Usually birds are good, but this one is not good because he will steal Cappy from me if I aggro him. So I had to go around the kingdom the back way in order to avoid it. And then I also just kind of like paid him a visit so that he thought that he had Cappy, but he does not. Clearly, I still have Cappy. So, and that's just to kind of manipulate avoiding that cutscene. And it saves about 45 seconds to not trigger that at all. And then just like that, we're done Lost Kingdom already. We used
a couple... Lost, by the way.
Yeah. We used a couple torpedoes to blow up some rocks and things like that, but no captures here, unfortunately.
We'll just have to wait for later. Mm-hmm. Chad, what are we up to now in terms of captures for critters? I'm not sure I know yet. Or I'm not sure I know anymore.
I've been losing count already, so...
We need Chat's help. Chat makes everything happen.
True.
So, I know I can count on them. And they can count for me.
Now, we were talking about how, like, each kingdom has their own, like, denizens and, like, their own brand of critter. Metro Kingdom does, too, and they're just the New Donk citizens, which are just people, I guess? Does that count as critters?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that's the opposite.
Yeah, fair.
This we might have to talk about the age-old debate of whether Mario is a human or not. We might have to do it.
Yes, which would, classify him as a critter or not, I suppose.
Exactly. In my opinion, there's so many conflicting sources online. Like, I did do a lot of research on this. I'm not sure I want to rock the boat. Because so many people say he is and so many people say he's not. But all opinions are absolutely valid. Dangerous, what do you think?
I believe that there was... I don't know where I heard it, but there was a source that said that Mario was human and that, like, the New Donk City citizens were not, which is confusing because they're New Donkians, which are
okay, that I didn't read, but okay.
Oh my goodness, what is happening here? So yeah, the Mario universe is kind of strange, is all you need to know.
Yep, that is very true. But Mario Odyssey, full of critters that we become, so no problem.
True.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, chat, if you have opinions, please sound them off. I would love to see them. I'm also seeing at least 6 critters.
At least 6. That's good. Yeah.
6. That's pretty good.
All right. So we're going to fight the Wiggler now, which is another evil critter. I'm going to try and set up a trick to clip out of bounds here in this fight. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, that's okay. But nope, I missed it. Okay, that's fine. Now, what would have happened there is I would have clipped out of the boss arena, but this is still Metro Kingdom, even though it's kind of like a separate instance, this boss arena. But if I clip out of bounds, I can actually go and access other parts of Metro Kingdom, including where a moon is spawned in and still exists. So what the clipping out of bounds would have done is let me basically get a moon that we're going to have to get later, while we're waiting for all of this stuff to happen that we're currently sitting through and waiting right here. Now, the Wiggler fight is pretty straightforward. That first phase is always going to look the same, and then the second phase can have one of 22 different patterns. All of them can be two-cycled like I just did. Some are just a little bit easier to manage than others, I suppose. But just like that, Wiggler's done.
Can I get some S's in chat?
If I were to wait too long, then I would have had to wait for him to kind of clip through the wall again and do another cycle, and it loses about 20 seconds. So, but yeah, what are we getting in the chat?
S's. I just like that the Wiggler goes S.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, Night Metro's done. This is where we start capturing a couple of critters here. Most notably, just a pylon, which I'm not sure, does that count as a critter?
Maybe. I want to hear opinions on that from chat too. Are pylons critters? Let us know.
And also, we're going to capture another one of those electrical wires as well.
Definitely a critter, I think.
I love that it translates on my model because I have the hand tracking, but so what happened there? So you're supposed to capture not a critter, certified not a critter, the man who controls the RC car. You're supposed to capture him and use his RC car to like drive into that little alcove. I didn't do that. Instead, what I did was I just got on the scooter, and little known fact about the scooter is that not only do you direct it with like left and right on the gamepad, or on the control stick rather, but you can also control it by tilting your controller. So I did both in combination to basically tweak Mario over to the side just enough that his big nose clipped into the side of the cage, and we were able to grab that moon without having to capture the RC car guy.
You heard it here first, chat. If you have a big nose, you can go faster. Just find areas in your life you can clip. Don't do that.
Scientifically proven.
That's irresponsible advice.
All right. Some more critters in this room. Like bullet bills. We're going to try and capture one of them.
We love the recurring critters from kingdom to kingdom. Sometimes they come back. They're just that fun to play with. Everything in Metro is fun to play with. Like, it's just such a huge sandbox of movement. So much fun.
Oh, I missed. Dang it. That's okay. We'll try again.
Mario's not a bird. He can't fly. Better, Mario.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Not until he captures a bird.
Exactly. He will get better at this.
He will learn to bird.
Just as Chad has been doing, by the way. So much love from your community. So many bird emotes. You absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, thanks for the birds, Chad.
Mm-hmm. If you've got any bird emotes, by the way, would absolutely love to see them.
We are bird enjoyers here.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think our emotes are pretty cute too, so that helps. They're definitely Hazard is the emote character, I suppose, and he's definitely a critter, 1000% critter coded.
Totally. If a game featured Hazard, it would be here in an instant.
Good to know. I'll put my fingers together. I'll do the little fingers touching together emoji and ask my game developer friends to make a Hazard game. That'd be adorable.
For us? That would be loads of fun. Hazard's a good bean.
There it is. Oh, bonk. All right, so Metro Kingdom is the heftiest when it comes to moon goals. And we are almost done here. We just need 2 more. And we're going to get them from this sub area. Tried to go for something a little cheeky there. Very optimized strategy that's hard to pull off, but wasn't able to quite get it. And we're just going to have to go for the backup here, but that's okay.
Again, backup strats, very underrated. This is part of what being a good marathon runner is
absolutely
not only being good at your, first round strats, but also just knowing your game well enough to have those backup strats loaded in so that you can immediately switch, just make yourself go as fast as you can go in the moment. Very important.
Yes, it's not enough to practice the tricks that get the job done. It's to practice what happens in the moment of the run when those tricks do not work.
Exactly.
If there is a solution, I suppose.
And I think that's the fun thing about watching things like GDQ Hotfix is you get to see how runners are able to get through the game in a majority of ways. You don't get the full experience just by watching, a runner's PB or even the world record. You got to see all of it.
Tells a little bit of the story of, that it's not just this, social media perfected thing that you see the finished result of, but not the work that it took to get there, I suppose.
Exactly.
All right, Snow Kingdom. This is another one of those interesting kingdoms that has a lot of quirky things going on. And there will be some interestingly shaped critters in this one.
Oh, certainly.
There's also Captain Toad.
Captain Toad. Definitely a critter.
He's a little guy. Yeah, he's definitely a little man.
Definitely. I'm still thinking about how the New Yonkians aren't humans. I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah. Again, I think that's just a theory. They're obviously stylized to be, so.
Right? Who knows? It's up for debate.
Right. So we're going to clip out of bounds twice in this kingdom, if things go according to plan. This is our second moon that we need to purchase here. The third one will be in Luncheon Kingdom. I also love the Shivarians. They're probably one of my favorite races in the Super Mario Odyssey universe.
Such a wildly different control scheme. I think it really it throws you off, but in a good way. I think when you get in there.
Yeah. All right. So clip number 1 is right here. Gonna use the moon again. And so just perfect timing for me to do a backflip, a cap throw, and face away from the wall. And that lets me phase through the wall there. That's about 2 seconds of time save just to kind of skip having to go down the hallway to get into this room. In other categories, if you were playing Darker Side or World Peace, that clip is basically mandatory because it saves minutes of time because you can use it to get into the Bowl. So if you played the game, the Bowl is kind of like the story objective of this particular kingdom where you're racing around a big racetrack with the Shivarians. We're not going to do that in this one because it's a little too slow, but super fun little mini game. Instead, we're going to do 2 of these little chamber door things. So that was the first one. And the second one is down this hallway. And the second room is actually where our next out of bounds clip is going to happen. So we're going to grab the story moon first. And now this is another example of a corner clip. So like we did in Lake Kingdom, the idea is that we can kind of slip through two different portions of wall that are creating a corner with another. Now this setup is very precise. It might take me a couple tries, so bear with me here.
Definitely one of the hardest tricks in the game.
I would say so, yeah. There we go. Third time's the charm.
Nice. Very good. Corner clip.
So yeah, that's what we call icicle cave clip or icicle corner clip. And you just don't have to stack up the Goombas to do anything there. You can just kind of clip through the wall that way instead.
Who needs a Goomba or a Goomba stack? I do, honestly. I think it's so fun to stack them.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Snowdram.
10 little critters all stacked on top of one another. So yeah, avoiding a capture again, unfortunately, but you know, the Goombas, they're pacifists. We'll just let them be. And then of course a little ice dram at the end there. So that moon is usually inaccessible to the casual player until you've beat the game and you have access to the full painting chain. But speedrunners have found a way up that cliff. Trick jumpers, I guess more accurately, have found a way up that cliff, and us speedrunners exploit their efforts and their endeavors. The cool thing about Odyssey is that it's a game that's kind of sparked a bunch of different communities around it. You have people who do, like a lot of other games, challenge runs, where it's like, can I beat this game blindfolded? Can I beat this game by doing the minimum amount of things required, et cetera, et cetera. You have speedrunners, obviously, and then you also have trick jumpers, which are people who just understand the full potential of like what Mario's move pool is in this game and ask, you know, how far can we push that? And so it's very cool to see some of these like really, really insane trick jumps that, you know, you can stay in the air for a really, really long amount of time and cross like really significant gaps.
Yeah, I mean, Odyssey is just such an evolution of Mario's moveset throughout so many of his games. So it really brings together everything that's amazing in a lot of the past games and says you have just this massive toolkit to get around. How much can you exploit this to go anywhere you want?
Whether the developers intended or not.
Exactly.
There are quite a
We're
few,
not
like,
saying they intended.
There are quite a few little hidden gems in this game where like the developers definitely intended for you to get there or do something. Like in Lake Kingdom, at the very beginning, what I did is I like jumped up the wall. Also, there's a trick here, so let me just focus on this for a second. Hey, let's go. I got it.
Nice fish
stay in
flip.
bounds, though. Nice. Okay. That's what we call fish and dips. You can, another really obscure way to get out of bounds is just to have that chest kind of push you out if you do the movement correctly, which I did there. I'm glad I got to show that off because it's a really cool trick. But yeah, so there are actually places in the game where the developers actually give you a nod for having really good like platforming skills. One of the examples is in Lake Kingdom. At the very beginning of Lake Kingdom, I basically just did like a little triple jump to get over the wall. You wouldn't have seen it because we're playing in Chinese, which is the fastest language. But if we were playing in English, Cappy would say something along the lines of like, wow, that was a great jump. Implying that like, you know, that's not the way you were supposed to go, but it's quite simple to get up there if you know how to move Mario correctly. Another example is in Sand Kingdom, in the room with Knucklotek, which is the big hands and face boss. There's a coin stack, a giant coin stack, up at the top of that area that you can access if you have good platforming skills as well. So obviously, it wouldn't be there if the game developers didn't think that you could get up there and find it. So
yeah, they understand that the players are going to try some stuff that isn't, you know, that isn't quite obvious. They're going to do some shenanigans.
Yeah. But maybe not to the degree that we do.
Exactly.
Maybe not.
They never
out of bounds.
expect the gamers. They never expect the speedrunners.
They definitely don't cater to us very well, that's for sure. Yeah.
If only.
But anyway, that was Seaside. I did kind of glaze over the fact that we got to clip out of bounds as a cheap as well at the end, so another critter. The little fish clip. Basically, the entire seaside kingdom is surrounded by an invisible barrier. It's not really a wall, it's more of a barrier that the fish can kind of push against to a certain degree and then get forced back. But if we manipulate like uncapturing and recapturing, we can force our way past that barrier. And that's what I did. So now Luncheon Kingdom, probably one of the most technically precise kingdoms, right up there with Wooded Kingdom. A lot of time can be lost here if I make big mistakes, and it's also probably the kingdom that is responsible for the most sequence breaking of any kingdom, and you're going to see why in a second. Usually in this kingdom, what you're supposed to do is fight Spewart, like right away, but I'm going to do something to try and skip past doing that entirely. By going
Once again,
around.
we do not want to see those bunnies.
Nope.
Not our friends.
If only they were a little nicer.
Learn the error of their ways and stuff. I actually don't think the Mario games are super interested in villain redemption. Historically.
No, not typically. Except for Bowser, sometimes they have a little bit of sympathy, I suppose. But
Yeah, it's true. Every now and again. Sometimes in the RPG games.
and they play tennis with them, and go karting
Exactly,
with
he's
them.
around. He can bring his son around sometimes.
Honestly, that part of the Mario universe is kind of what leads me to the theory that the Mario, the mainline Mario franchise itself is actually just an elaborate role play that these characters are engaging with, but that they're all just really good friends. You know what I mean? They just
that's kind of
make up these
textual.
adventures.
Yeah,
They just
because of
gotta make
Super
up these
Mario Bros.
adventures.
3 especially.
Yes,
The whole,
true. It's
theme
on
of that
stage,
game
right?
is that it's a play. Yeah, exactly. I like this theory. It's more fun to imagine them all just picking roles and having fun playing a little game with each other.
Yeah.
A
A classic damsel in distress kind of story that they're engaging in with each other.
Exactly. It's cute.
No way did I just get that. Oh, that's sick. Okay.
Nice.
It's hard to really explain what I just did there, but I'm going to try my best anyway. So usually what happens... Oh man, how do I even begin to explain this? Usually what happens when you hit the lava is that you become completely incapacitated. You're not allowed to put cappy, you're not allowed to jump, you're not allowed to do anything until you land on solid ground and kind of put the fire out, right? So the only thing that can save you from that is putting Cappy out in advance to bounce on him after, or doing what I just did, which is a vault while hitting the lava at the same time, which really sounds confusing. And that's because it is one of those things that definitely requires a lot of game knowledge to really understand the breadth of what I just did. But the fact that I did it, considering it's a frame-perfect trick, yeah, I'm kind of impressed that I was able to pull that off on GDQ. So the GDQ, or the people who run this game right now are oh my god, he just did the thing.
We are too. I mean, we trust you. If you say that's frame perfect, we're well, we know how hard that is.
Almost forgot my turnip. I forgot I need to go cooking.
Very important. Important to eat well.
Oh, don't throw
With
it
your
down.
golden turnips, I always get them on my grocery runs.
Golden turnips? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Part of a balanced
Full of nutrition.
breakfast.
That's right. So we make a double golden turnip stew and get some moons for that. And then we're going to get our third and final shop moon. I also like the Toasteranins. Or wait, no, this is the Volbonins, sorry. Toasteranins are Sand Kingdom. Like them too. But the little fork people it's in the Luncheon Kingdom.
I love that you can capture them though in this one. Usually they make the people not capturable, but in this one,
Yeah.
go ahead and fling yourself around.
And that's kind of the whole basis of the fork flicking room that we were just in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now a very difficult jump here, which I almost messed up.
Ooh,
Okay,
nice save.
Please get out of my way there.
Spiny.
Oh, where is it? Hello? Interesting.
Oh, that,
okay.
that was odd.
I seem to have forgotten where the blocks are. Let me try that again.
It was just hiding from you.
Yeah. Give it one more shot here. There it is.
Oh.
So that allows us to cross the gap without taking any damage. Super quick, super fast. Kind of what makes this whole kind of what makes this whole route work the way that it does is being able to cross that. But yeah, the funny thing about that is that those blocks are just always there. So the reason that they're there is because when you do actually progress the story in this kingdom, there's like a bunch of islands that rise out of the lava later on. And so if those, input drops, we'll love those. The context of those blocks makes sense when the platforms are there because they kind of help you like navigate the platforms, but they are actually just always there, even if the platforms aren't. So that's very handy for us as speedrunners.
Yeah, I think Luncheon would look so different without that specific jump.
Oh, yeah. There is technically a way to cross the gap and still survive, but it would require like bouncing on Cappy and it wouldn't be as fast, that's for sure. Last thing we're going to do here is this little timer challenge here.
The built-in speedrunning parts of the game.
Yes.
Gotta go fast. Wait, that's the wrong mascot.
Yeah, that's coming later.
Exactly. That'll be later.
All right. So yeah, Luncheon is a very difficult kingdom, but we made it through. And on our way to Ruined Kingdom next to face off against the largest creature in the game.
Oh, that is very true. I want to know, Dangers, when you saw this upcoming critter for the first time, what was your reaction? What did you think?
I thought he looked like, I was wondering why a Skyrim boss was in my Odyssey video game, like in my Mario game. But I also kind of thought that about the Metro Kingdom denizens as well. I was like, why are there like real live people in my Mario? What's happening? I was confused, that's for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. You make a good point. They kind of primed you already to be like, well, sometimes you might see things that aren't quite aesthetically what you thought were going to happen in this game.
Yes. Pushing Mario to new potentials. That's right.
Exactly.
So yes, this is the Lord of Lightning. Also known as the Ruined Dragon. And this fight is exactly the same every time. There's no RNG. Basically just waiting for these phases where he's just going to slam his head down into the arena. We're going to get up on top as fast as we can here. Take advantage of damage boosting, pull all the swords, ground pound his head, do that 3 times. Move on to the next place. This is kind of the, when you're on PB pace, this is where you kind of slow down your breath a little bit, calm down, check all your vitals, check your hydration levels, and get yourself into the end game type beat. This is where it all kind of happens.
That should also be checking their hydration levels right now, by the way. So important.
Yes, indeed.
I think he's just like such a quintessential dragon design here. So gorgeous.
Iconic. Some people like to call him Spyro. I know a lot of people say like a Dark Souls boss.
I hate to admit it, Chad, I am not very Dark Souls literate. I always have to ask my girlfriend what's going on.
Yeah,
when people
you and me
reference
both.
Dark Souls.
The Souls games, the whole FromSoft, I guess, is the company that makes them, right? Yeah, that whole studio is kind of beyond my interests for the most part. They look like cool games.
Yeah, I respect them. They're super, super cool. I'm just, different world of gaming.
I like my critters to be less spooky and intimidating.
That is definitely Mario's the right franchise.
Indeed. Yeah. For that particular interest, I think you're right. All right. That's
yeah, this is
Kingdom.
the scariest they've ever been, probably.
Yeah. They've had some pretty like spooky, almost kind of like twisted horror-ish story elements in games like Super Paper Mario. But in
That's
the mainline
true.
games, yeah, there's not a lot of...
Yeah.
Definitely
and the
not any
Luigi's
story
Mansion
diversity.
series exists. But yeah.
Yep, true. That's true. All right. Bowser's Kingdom is probably like the closest kingdom that I could compare to something like Super Mario Galaxy in its progression, because you're kind of hopping from island to island with these electrical pole warps. And even though the counter for moons has disappeared from the top corner, that doesn't mean that we have eliminated the limit. It's just kind of doing this because it's trying to trick us into being like, oh, this is the last place, haha. Spoiler alert, it's not. But the game is trying to trick us into believing that as if this is our first time playing. So we do need to collect all of the story moons along the way. And also 2 extras. Just a bit of movement there to get this ogre, and Mario's making a pizza. That's my favorite frame to land on, that one.
Nice.
And then the next island, we're going to be collecting 5 moon shards that assemble into 1 power moon. These are required to get to the next island, and some of my favorite movement in the game. As a result of these moon shards being so spread out, I guess. We have to get kind of creative to get them all, so some of my favorite movement in the game for something that doesn't feel very optimized. Oops.
This great moon vint. Is that anything?
Movement.
Moon vint. Yeah. They should hire me. And you.
Yeah. This particular part is like one of my favorites. We don't capture a bird here. In fact, we just let the bird do all the work for us, poking the bomb into the block while we run away and grab the moon as fast as we can. Don't worry, we will be capturing a bird, though, later. There will be bird assistance. This is going to be another little capture warp here, so we're leaving Cappy behind, letting Mario grab the moon, and then we zip right back here. And finally, we face the Brutals again. Haven't done that since the beginning of the game. But we're going to start with Harriet here.
All right, both dangers in chat. Favorite Brutal. Go.
Favorite Brutal? What is my favorite Brutal? I think it's got to be either Topper or Spewert.
Good, those are good. Yeah, Topper and Harriet are probably my favorites, which, lucky for me.
You get to see both of them in this run, as it turns out.
Exactly. Or Rango and Spirit.
Yeah, completely eliminated from the any percent speed run.
Oh well. I just have to go watch other categories.
I guess so, yes. You'll see them a lot in World Peace or Darker Side, that's for sure. So yeah, quick and easy way to deal with Spewert there. Nothing like really exploity about the Spewert fight, but Harriet, on the other hand, lots of things that are exploity about that. So the first phase, I basically hit both of the bombs back towards Harriet at the same time. And because only one bomb is required to actually, damage Harriet, the other one doesn't know what to do on its way there. And so it kind of just is stuck in a stasis mode, suspended in the air. And then we can use that bomb that's stuck in stasis to damage Harriet on the second phase without having to wait for her to bounce around and throw bombs at us again. So that saves us a little bit of time, of course.
And that's definitely the last time we'll see the Brutals.
Yep. Definitely. They definitely won't all team up together and try and take me on in one last hurrah.
Nope.
All right, and finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. The bird.
Yay! Bird.
Now, we were talking about how shaking the controller has a lot of, like, perhaps unknown effects in this game, and one of them is that you can flick a lot further with the bird. And so we basically just shake the controller every time to get the bird to fling up the wall really fast. And now we're in one of the most exciting parts of the run, which is the Robo-Brutal fight. Now you can do this entire fight without capturing the bird at all. I'm going to try and stay on top of the Robo-Brutal as much as I possibly can. So we hit bubbles 1 and 2 there. Rango and Topper are already gone. Now, there's nothing we can do during this phase of the fight as long as the Robo-Brutal's legs are rainbow and like flashing and stuff like that. There's nothing we can really do, so we have to wait for that phase to end, which is going to happen right now. And there we go, just like that. If you have ever attempted that fight as a casual, you know it doesn't look quite anything like that at all.
It's just amazing to see that fight pulled off in the speedrun way every single time.
I honestly, like I said, I was feeling a little bit rusty coming into this because I haven't played Odyssey in a hot second, but it also amazes me to see us be able to do that. Quite frankly, don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but it is a very fun fight and a very like cool one in terms of mechanics.
You are here to toot your own horn. Do that as much as you want.
You know what? Fair, and to shake my head feathers a little bit too. Why not?
Yeah.
I get to be a creature for an hour. Sign me up.
Exactly. That's why y'all should also submit your own runs to this show if you want to.
True. Yeah, if you have any ideas for games that involve creatures, I actually have one that is not Odyssey,
Ooh.
but perhaps I'll have to resubmit that one at a later date because I'm already here. So
That's right, but doesn't mean you can't submit.
True.
Want to see?
All right. In terms of story progression, the game is like, oh my God, you're going to Bowser's Kingdom, and that means that the game is almost done because, yeah, Bowser's the main guy, and he's the bad guy, and he's the big bad guy, and you're going to his castle where he lives. Psych, just kidding. We're actually going to go to their wedding on the moon. Who could have seen this coming? Yeah, so, that's actually where the game's climax happens, is on the moon. So this is the last place we need to go. We have finished collecting moons, though. We are now just in finish up the game mode. So we just have to go to that cathedral, fight Bowser, and end the game. And now that thing that I mentioned at the beginning with the vectoring is going to come in big here because we get a lot of jump power as a result of moon gravity. So you can see that because I was going in those big zigzaggy lines, I was able to cross that gap with no issue at all and with a lot of speed. And now we're going to not go into the moon cave because that's really slow. Instead, we're just going to kind of scale the side of that wall and do a couple of well-placed wall jumps that let us get all the way to the top. That saves about 3 minutes. It was found on day 1 that you didn't even have to go into the moon cave whatsoever, that you could just skip the entire thing, not have to do any of the scary lava shenanigans with the cool music, just skip on right past it, and they never patched it, and we are very grateful for that.
We sure are. That is vital.
And now our final interaction with Bowser here. This fight is essentially identical to the one that we did in Cloud Kingdom, with the exception that in between all of the phases... also, yeah, Bowser was dressed to the nines in the first one too, so I guess that's not different, but he's going to throw fire at us in between each of the phases here. But otherwise, the strategy is no different. Get up in his face, capture the white hat as soon as we possibly can by jumping over it when he throws it at us, wait for the tail swings, punch him, repeat the process, stare at him while he jumps into the middle. You know, all the typical things. Also, cool thing about this little fire that he's spitting at us. Oh, well, I didn't get to show it off very well there. Let me see if I can do it again. It's a ground scan. So even though the fire is big and imposing and looks very intimidating, as long as you are not touching the ground, you have nothing to worry about. So you can just roll right over it. You can do like a tiny little hop over it if you wanted.
That's definitely something people can do at home. I mean, a lot of this is something people can do at home, but that sounds like just a fun thing to load up your game and go, yeah.
All right. So we're actually not done after we beat Bowser, because now the moon is exploding, so we need to escape. And now we get to be the ultimate creature, which of course is Bowser himself. Probably one of my favorite parts of the game. And yeah, we're going to attempt to do one of the hardest skips in the game. And it's right at the end, which is great. Great for speedrunners. We love that. I'll give this a couple of tries. No guarantees, though. But wish me good luck here.
All right, chat. You know what to do. Bless emotes. Good lucks. That stuff.
Oh, yep. That's bound to happen.
Yeah, that's
so already you can kind of see what's happening
go.
here. You can already see how it's kind of working. But this 2D section is supposed to be a mandatory area where you traverse the 2D areas like you do in any other part of the game. However, what we are doing instead is using some weird kind of wonky collision on the outsides of the walls to traverse all the way up, and they are very, very precisely placed, so one mistake can sometimes lead to death, just like it happened there. But let me try again. Oh, come on, man. Oh, let me try one more time. Yeah, the trickiest parts of the jump are this second one here. Yep, as you can see. And like the last one that I was kind of fumbling with as well. Do we still have time for me to try it one more time?
One more try. Let's give it one more.
Hopefully I don't fall off.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, probably the hardest skips. It does save maybe like 7 to 8 seconds, so it's really not like a deal breaker. Like, you don't need to be going for this in your runs to be a speedrunner of this game by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of just like a top runner thing, but it is a very cool thing to show off. So. Oh no! Okay, I'll just go through. You kind of get the idea. The idea is that you keep doing that. Going up the wall until Bowser makes it up to the top, and yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, you can check out for sure other speedruns that Dangers has done, and other speedruns other people have done for that one. But we now get to see everyone's favorite section, the 2D Bowser section.
Yeah, the 2D Bowser section, which is a fun one as well, and I guess there is a little bit of a skip here. We also, as speedrunners, didn't know that you could actually run in this section by holding like the X or Y button until like several months into the game, which I think is very funny. But yeah, Bowser can run. There we go.
Yeah, it just wanted us to talk about that. The running mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. Showcasing a little bit. So that's what you would do if you were maybe a little bit newer to the speed game. All right.
Yeah, I recommend chat pick it up. Really cool.
And the goal of this room is to just kind of throw the fireballs. And again, this is another shaking mechanic. Like, in order to throw those fireballs, I am shaking the controller, which you may or may not have known you can do until today. So, yeah, there you go. And just kind of throw them at the pillar that we are approaching. If we need to swipe our claws at it, then we can. But try and avoid that as much as possible and do it as fast as we can. Hope the rocks don't get in the way like that one just did. And time is when I shoot out of this wire now.
Yippee!
There you have it, Super Mario Odyssey Any %, where we get to be a whole schwack load of good little critters.
Exactly. Absolutely fantastic run. That was a wonderful showcase of the game. Super fun. Where can chat find you, Dangers?
Well, I stream, at the moment, I stream exclusively at twitch.tv/dangers, though that might change to include my YouTube channel in the near future. But since we're on Twitch, primary location you can find me, twitch.tv/dangers. And yeah, thank you again very much for the showcase on the show. It's been a while since I've made a little GDQ Hotfix appearance. It was nice to be able to do it as a critter on the Critter Show. I think it's very exciting that there's a Critter Show for GDQ now.
I'm really proud to be able to bring it to the stage, and you were one of my first thoughts. I was just like, Dangers is going to be such a great fit for this, and it's going to be tons of fun. And it was. So thank you so much for being here. And chat, please go follow Dangers and see what he's up to on Twitch.
Please do. We play lots of Mario. We do Pokemon as well. Pokemon are a bunch of little critters, I suppose, as well. So
it's true.
So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. We are back with more Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show, where we feature speedruns that primarily feature non-human characters. And I'm sure if you're here, you love Hotfix. If you didn't get to catch our earlier run out of the box, or if you want to just know what's going on in GDQ Hotfix in general, you should go to gamesdonequick.com/. Just like this run coming up right now, we've got Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Saturn version, Alucard by Abby's Corner. All right. I should protect my neck from any vampire bites, I think. This is about to be spooky.
Hi, everybody. Just so you know, Alucard's half human, so you don't have to worry about that vampire bite. He doesn't actually like drinking blood, surprisingly.
What?
And surprisingly, there's only two vampires in this entire game.
Wow.
But yeah,
this is the way more blood
version.
than necessary then to the function.
We're only going to see one of those vampires because we're going to horrifically break the game. This can only be done in the Saturn version, funny enough. Mm-hmm. So without any further ado, I think we should get started. So in 3, 2, 1, let us begin the run. Now, you may have noticed that I just clicked on Maria. That's because we're going to trick the game completely. This is why this can only be done in the Saturn version, because the Saturn version is the only one with the portrait system. The way Konami fixed this in the PSP version was you have to spell the character's name, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess. Don't play the PSP version. Don't play the PS4 version. They're both awful. But yeah, this version was only released in Japan. They actually had to do a lot of workarounds, such as with Alucard's Mist, as you will see. This also is the most feature-rich version of the game because there's 2 extra areas, an extra boss, 2 extra weapons, and 1 extra relic, which is the Godspeed boots. I don't know why they didn't put them into any other version, but they didn't. And for some reason, the game's director hates this version. So it's like, oh, well, that's unfortunate because it's the best one. Maria, please jump. Thank you. So we want to try to jump into this room because that way Maria will keep her momentum. Otherwise, we don't get that. We're also resetting the game. The Sega was like, all games have to be able to reset by pressing A, B, C, and start. It's a soft reset. Instead of a hard reset. The Dreamcast also has this feature, only add in the extra button, rather than the 3. So now we have done the thing, and now we're going to do it again, and if done correctly, you will just see the game. If you see loading now, you have messed it up. So now we have officially told the game that we're still Maria when we're actually Alucard. So what does this mean? We get all of her stats, all of her relics, all of her items. She has 200 HP, 200 MP, the ability to carry 1,000 hearts, and has every relic in the game, as well as the Dragon Helm. The Dragon Helm doesn't really help that much. It's more the relics and the 200 HP, 200 MP. So here we go, turning on our relics that we need.
This game is about to be so confused.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it's horrifically broken right now. Until you go into a save room, the game's broken. You can't do anything. You need to hard reset if you never go into a save room if you want to do another run. Fun fact. Also, one thing about the Saturn version, infinite wing smashes without having to repeatedly hit the input. So it's a lot easier on the hand.
And that means creature for us also.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Alucard has the ability to turn into a bat, a wolf, and mist. Unfortunately, wolf is not that helpful for us here. This is fine. I get a little bit of extra mana because of that. So that's good. Oh, there we go. Again, using the bat to cancel the gravity jump, and then backdashing is still our fastest form of human movement, even though we don't have the shield. Godspeed boots are more useful for jumps because for whatever reason they also speed up your jumps, which we will see soon. So here we go. Also, wing smashing makes us invincible and will allow us to kill some enemies for some safety levels. Because we will be going into Castle 2 horrifically underleveled to the point where almost anything can kill us.
Glitching out the game would never do that, right?
No, never. So here we go. Here is the Godspeed boots. You'll notice he's doing the run that he does at the beginning of the game if you've played the PlayStation version or the Xbox version. So there we go. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. Transform into bat for consistency's sake. A lot of top runners will diagonal gravity jump, which can be a little difficult. And then we're going to pick up the strength potion. There is a faster way, but it requires some math. Game, are we okay? There we go. And I don't know how to do that math. Uh-oh. Nope. Okay. Can we have a second?
Yes, of course we can. And while we go ahead and figure out all this, I am going to remind chat that we don't just have SGDQ submissions open, but we do. We have them today. But we also have GDQ live at PAX East from May 8th to 11th, and the submissions are now open until March 23rd. So visit submissions.gamesdonequick.com to submit your runs. Accepted runners will be provided an event badge too. So if you are planning to be at PAX East, you know what to do. We would love to see you apply.
Okay, I think we're good. I think. We can only hope. I've never seen that pop up, so I was like, oh no.
We've never seen it before. We had to say the thing. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we're good. I think.
Right.
Okay. Sorry about that. Really weird. Saturn version is fun sometimes. All right,
Saturn.
Here we go. So, we're on our way to the first boss. We only fight 4 bosses in this game, or in this run. We fight the Hippogriff, Medusa, and then Shaft and Dracula. So here we go. Using our punches, and then going to use the holy water. This is why we pick up the holy water. The holy water is going to be more important for Medusa than it is the Hippogriff. Do not transform into Bat and run out of the screen, because this loading screen turns us back, so you'd just be wasting mana by doing that. There is another screen where that's also going to happen. So here we go. Don't go into that room. Very bad to go into that room, because you will be stuck there for a second. Because the thing is, the save room is still waiting to be activated, so it's going to play the save animations still. And so it's like, oh no. And now we're going to take an extra risk here, where killing them has a chance to... Oh, okay. It happened. Yay. So we lost our holy water. That's what happens when you fight Axe Lords. They have a chance to drop the Axe subweapon. It's not the end of the world. It's just going to make Medusa a little bit more time consuming. And now we're going to break the game even further. By backdashing and holding forward, we get this. Would anyone like to see the moon? Because I can show you the moon. By going a little bit to the right, but not going up, we can make the moon spawn back in. So there we go.
Hello, moon.
All right. And then we're going to 1, 2, 3. And if done correctly, we warp into the second castle. Everything here is very OP. Typically, in a casual playthrough, you're going to be around level 40. We're still in our teens. And also vertical wing smashing is going to happen. There we go. Again, vertical wing smashing is not a thing that's supposed to happen, but because we glitched into the second castle, that allows to happen. These Panthers have a 1 in 33 chance of dropping the Masamune, which will do 200 damage to Dracula and Shaft. However, it's very, very hard to get unless you do that math I talked about. Uh-oh. Come on. Okay.
Just regular Saturn things.
Mm-hmm. Ow. Okay, we have her stun locked currently. Oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. So it wasn't the end of the world, but it did take a little bit longer. Again, she does about 45 damage every time she hits you, so you don't have a lot of chances to take hits. However, we did get a nice little mana regen because of that. And now we're getting some levels because of the Panthers. And then up. Careful, because the pumpkin pods will also do a lot of damage. So here we go, more levels. Going down. And then for safety, we're going to pick up some extra health. And also grab the mana prism so that we can heal our mana. We're also going to do the same glitch again that I did earlier to get out of bounds again. Funny enough, I accidentally figured out how to do this and not take damage. It's only ever happened once. Ow, that hurt. And it's, ooh, no, it didn't happen there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're in the reverse chapel.
Okay.
Wait, we were always there. We're about to go into the reverse Colosseum. That is not where I want that. We want to be very careful with the strength potion because if we accidentally use it too early, Dracula is going to take much, much, much longer. So now we're going to use the mana prism. Be careful when using it because if you use it, for example, while transitioning into a load screen, such as a CD room, you will negate the potion completely, and then you won't have the mana necessary to continue. Taking a bit of a risk here, because everything here will do a minimum of about 50 damage.
Oh. Do not want to see that.
Hence why wing smashing is so important. There we go, nice little heal. Sure, why not have some hearts? Go down. There we go. And now we're in reverse Ulrox's quarters. Ulrox is the other vampire. If you've watched Castlevania Nocturne, you would be familiar with Ulrox. Ulrox doesn't really play that big of a role in this game. He's just kind of here. And he doesn't really do much. Except for turn very giant and green. So here we go. 1. There we go.
Alucard has some sweet dance moves, I just gotta say. Absolutely tearing it up. And you're tearing up this game. It is fully destroyed.
All right, now everybody get ready for the 13 dings of Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
There would be a way to avoid the 13 dings of Scooby-Doo. I call it the 13 dings of Scooby-Doo because the clock dings 13 times. So why not reference a 1970s cartoon? There is a way to avoid this. However, it wants to be complicated these days, and I'm just like, yeah, let's not and say we did and just do this. Again, it just skips the cutscene. It's slightly faster. The entire cutscene takes about 25 seconds in total. And now we're going into the final boss fight. It is a double boss fight, and will require us to use Tetra Spirits for the first half. So here we are. We're also going to see if I can get some swag here. So we're going to transform into the bat, wing smash, transform, gravity jump, transform again, and here we go. Swag? No. So what the swag would be is that I untransform right as we hit the hole and we just go down. So here we have Shaft. He's a very nasty person, and so we're just going to Tetra Spirit here to be able to hit him, transforming into mist in order to not take damage. Again, you can do any spell in the game if you know the command for it. Also, he's in a really good spot to be punched. So that's what we're gonna do. Ooh, we are doing, I don't think I've done 28 damage from punches before. So we could be very, very, very good for Dracula. Unfortunate. There we go. There we go. And because we're not in mist, we'll be regenerating our mana, as you just kind of saw it, little tiny blip go up. We're going to be Tetra Spiriting Dracula as he's coming down for a little bit of assist. So here we go. Of course, every version still has the same Japanese dub. It's only the English dub they ever changed. And it's very unfortunate. So if you're playing the PS4 version or the PSP version, you do not get what is a man but a miserable pile of secrets, all that dialogue. So here we go. Doing pretty good damage at 54. While he's summoning Karasu Man, we're going to jump on his head. This attack right here will do 128 damage, so very, very, very careful about avoiding it. There we go. These Xenomorph heads will do 80 damage if they hit you. And also, these triangles will do 80 damage if they hit you. Now we go back to the hands. Also, Dracula claim. Oh, there we go. Time.
Whoa,
Go back whence you came,
time.
trouble the soul of my mother no more. How? How is it that I've been so defeated? You were doomed ever since you lost the ability to love. Ah, sarcasm. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the world and loses his own soul? Matthew 16:26, I believe. Tell me, what were Lisa's last words? She said, do not hate humans, for if you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm. Lisa, forgive me. Farewell, my son. Choo, 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 choo. So yeah, that was the run.
Incredible, Abby.
This is the shortest category you can do for Soden if you know how to do the math stuff. Shout outs to the Swarm. Shout outs to Eldridge, who does the randomizer stuff. Of course, shout outs to Jupiter Climb and Dragon Blitz. And a lot of the Soden community. Head to the Long Library if you want to get involved with anything Soden related. Some really good folks there. This has been Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Also, shout-outs to Jadelyn Gaming and to Satan herself. You should follow both of them. Both of them lovely people.
What?
And yeah.
And shout-outs to you.
the
Where can
run.
the chat find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Abby's Corner. I'm also on Blue Sky under Abby's Corner. So, yeah, I'm a bit everywhere. But yeah, thank you for having me on the first show.
Of course, you were absolutely wonderful. And this game is just amazing. So wild. You did a great job presenting it. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
無事だったようだな。
アルカードよかったあなたも無事だった
That was Castlevania Symphony of the Night Saturn Edition. You'll see why I wanted the Saturn version on this show. Just absolutely broken. And we're about to break another game. After the break, we've got Sonic Colors Ultimate Egg Shuttle by New SR. You definitely do not want to miss our final transformations game, so go ahead and come on back after a short break. Alrighty, everybody. Hello again. I am Satan herself, and we are back on Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show that shows off all things non-human, runs that feature playable characters that are critters and creatures and all that jazz. And if you do want to see more of GDQ stuff, I know we're all Hotfix enjoyers, but we also love our events. If you missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or events like Back to Black and For Us Hotels, you can check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. But you're here for the live content, and that means you are here for our next run of Sonic Colors Ultimate Egg Shuttle by New SR. Let's go fast.
Hi everyone, I'm New. I speedrun a lot of 3D Sonic, pretty much every single one of them at this point. And this was actually one of my first runs that I ever learned. So I'm really proud to show this off. I love this game, and there's a lot of funny creatures in this. You can maybe see them at the top there as I try to go to Egg Shuttle now and flying off. But yeah, this game was the introduction of Wisps to the Sonic franchise, and those little creatures are going to be helping us a lot in Egg Shuttle. Egg Shuttle is considered really the speedrun mode of this game because it doesn't have any of the cutscenes, and there's cool stuff that's different from any percent, like boost being carried over between levels, which doesn't happen in the normal game. So it allows for us to do a lot of cool things. So yeah, I'm down to get into this. We'll start it up in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
So loading into Tropical Resort now, you're gonna see it's gonna be, if you're familiar with boost games, you'll kind of know the gist here, but the difference with this boost game is that we don't actually get boost in a lot of normal ways. We actually get it from these little guys called Wisps. The little white guys are the ones that gives us boost. There's a lot of other types of Wisps, which we'll get into very soon, actually. And yeah, we'll actually be coming up on one of them very soon. This is the Laser Wisp here, and I'm gonna actually be trying to do a trick in this first level where I didn't get it, so I'll actually have to go up to a backup Wisp. This is going to be our first one that we show off, which is Drill. Allows us to do a lot of cool abilities, like this one, of course, drilling through the ground. And all the other ones are like colored and let you do lots of different abilities. They'll have their names. I'm assuming that you can kind of guess what Laser is able to do. And there's a bunch of other wisps that will all take great effect. Besides one that was introduced with this version of the game, Colors Ultimate, we typically do not use that one, the Ghost Wisp, in the run. So sadly, that is a creature we won't actually be able to see. But we still love them all the same. All the wisps are very adorable little creatures.
We're seeing great creatures. I'm not complaining at all.
So Tropical Resort 2, this is the first like mainly 2D level. You get the introduction of all the 2D levels because this game has a lot of 2D stuff to it. And because of these 2D sections, I'm actually able to show off a cool trick here where I jump over this neutral stick, and that transition gives me a lot of speed for a huge launch. And if I laser back into the stage, boost, I now have 3D in another 2D section, which allows me to jump out here, laser, and get back into the stage. So yeah, that's pretty much the introduction of laser.
That is always so good.
Sonic shoots off at really quick speeds, and hitting those crystals is actually what redirects Sonic, and I'm kind of aiming for those during that trick, or else I kind of fall and die. Grabbing laser again here. And this is one of the few like drift sections. Typically, it's actually not fast to drift in this game. This is one of the few Sonic games where drift is kind of useless. And I'm going to be doing another 3D and 2D here, where I actually break out here, skip a 2D trigger, and I'm just able to run through this 2D section with 3D physics. 3D physics actually give you a lot more speed because the game slows down Sonic to be able to do a bunch of platforming as you would in 2D, but we want to go fast. So 3D physics are really useful. The only problem is that, of course, I'm not supposed to be in there with 3D. Actually, we'll be coming up here, trying to find a laser wisp because I accidentally went in the wrong direction, but you know, we'll back this up.
It happens.
Yeah. So 2D, you can see Sonic is a lot slower here. This is typically why we want to go into these sections with 3D. Because then we aren't able to like go as fast as possible, but it does keep us safe instead of falling out of the level, which, you know, is always nice. TR4 is really short. There's a lot of like acts in this game that are extremely short, and this is one of them. We actually just take drill down here, come back up, boost over these rails, and that's TR4 done. 14-second level, really fast.
Zoomed. Blink and you miss it. Although I don't know if you should be blinking for 14 seconds. That sounds like
that'd be a very long blink. You wouldn't want to do that. So we got more laser nonsense here. Just going through, hitting these crystals, sending us really far throughout the level.
This run is such eye candy, and I mean, pun intended when we get to a future world, but it really is.
I'm gonna be coming up here, grabbing this laser wisp, where I come down here, laser, get another bounce off this wall and hit the goal ring.
Nice.
Neat stuff. And then this is another really short level. Very easy to fall in here, but hopefully I do everything right. And yeah, pretty neat for platforming. You can go really fast in this game in the 2D sections if you know what you're doing, but it is a little scary. And we're moving on to the first boss fight of this game. These boss fights are a little bit of a joke. First, stomp him. I have to wait because I ran out of boost, but typically with how these bosses work, there'll be a wisp that you see floating around that does a lot more damage to the boss than anything. This is usually a 3-hit boss, but we are now killed it in 2. We just gotta wait for its animation to play through, all the rings to despawn, and that's gonna be Tropical Resort done.
Just like that.
And now we're gonna be moving on to Sweet Mountain. The stage is really
now
cool.
Intended.
And yeah, as you can see, the main motif is a lot of candy and baked goods and sweets. I really visually love this world. It's really cool. And I'm also going to be coming in here and doing another skip through this level. We got another 3D and 2D where I actually get laser, hopefully have 3D physics coming into this section, and I'm able to boost around a lot of these walls that I wouldn't usually be able to get past. This is very scary though, because if I get off access, per se, that can happen, where we fall out of the stage. Which is fine. I keep 3D physics. I might actually try to go back for a 2D trigger, which I don't think I can do. So this is what happens when you kind of fall out and the game doesn't give you a safe location back. You kind of got to play this level as if you don't have 3D physics, which is a little scary when the camera is the way that it is, so you can't just move using the control pad, the D-pad. The game actually has movement binded to the D-pad, which is really nice for sections where the camera is actually in line with the 2D section, but as you see there, the camera flips around a lot for cinematic views. It makes it a little hard to do that section, but I managed to get through it. That's one of the few times I've actually fallen out and not getting put back, so I was a little spooky, but we eventually got through.
You did a great job reacting to that on the fly. Very well done.
Sweet Mountain 2 also has a cool skip that visually isn't going to look that cool, but it actually skips about 10-20 seconds. It's going to be coming up here. First, we got to go through this drift section, which, again, not really fast. The only thing that I really use drifting for is just a corner easier. And then coming here to this trick ramp, we're going to not go through the full trick ramp sequence, only hitting good, jumping up so that I skip automation, and jumping at the right time skipped me about 20 seconds into the level. Visually, it didn't look like I did much, but we skipped quite a lot going there. And this is another section where we use drill to go right to the end.
You're selling yourself short. I could totally see that sequence break.
I mean, considering a lot of the other tricks in this game, that is one of the least flashy.
That's true. But, flashiness isn't everything. If it saves those 20 seconds, it saves 20 seconds. That's a lot.
There's another skip that you can do on this level. I'm not too familiar with it, and it's really hard to get the breakout so you don't have 2D physics. So we're just going to be going through this level like normal. It actually gives me a chance to show off another wisp. This is our good buddy Rocket. You can kind of maybe guess what happens when I use him. You start going up, and you go up really fast.
Oh, I would have never guessed.
Crazy, right? Typically, you don't really have to go up fast a lot in this run, so Rocket doesn't see a lot of use, but, it's cool.
Up is not
getting a little slope jump
right.
here. Coming over here, getting a bounce off of this flying guy, and just making it to the end. And SM4, Sweet Mountain is full of a lot of crazy tricks. SM4 is one of the big ones. This is, if you've seen a colors run, you'll be pretty familiar with this trick. Another 3D and 2D. So I'm going to be coming over here, getting this laser wisp, this boost, and I'm going to be jumping over a trigger here. Coming back, boosting didn't get locked into place. We're going to be trying that again because this skip is just too cool not to do. But essentially what we're trying to do is just get 3D in this transition area, because there's a way that you're actually able to activate laser in that section and launch yourself. I'm going to be coming here, trying again. I'm going to have to get this jump, which is a little spooky to try to get it. I'm going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to do the little safe one. If I keep failing this, we might actually see our little buddy Ghost. Ghost might actually get some use.
Well, let's do it one more time. Chat, can we get some energy from you? Let's get some love in there. We're doing amazing.
Yeah, sadly, I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, I'm going to be doing this a bit of a different way then.
Well, we see more creatures, and also this is a good moment to remind you that you can go watch news runs on Twitch. Yeah, you stream this. That's right.
Yeah, I did that a little wrong. You're trying to do the same thing. This SM4 is such a hard level and so critical to the run. I think I might just not mess around with this anymore. Typically, what we're trying to do here is skip an elevator that really sucks to go through because it's super long, super tedious. But funnily with Ultimate has a neat thing that they did with the Ghost Wisp being introduced into this game. It allows them to do a lot of like funny things with the levels. And this is actually a somewhat intended skip, where we're going to be riding these elevators for a bit. It's super slow, super not fun.
Can kind of see that.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're having fun anyway.
Come up here. Yeah, we're all having fun. I mean, it's Sonic Colors. Who isn't having fun playing Sonic Colors? This is the Ghost Wisp. It's very slow, but it does allow us to like get homing attacks through walls, which is very nice for me to be able to go up to the goal ring here.
Nice.
Kind of sucks I wasn't able to show off the really cool trick, but you know, we got to see a cute little buddy.
Did and twitch.tv/newsr if you wanna see more.
True. I'm gonna be trying for another 3D and 2D here. This one is slightly easier, but still pretty hard. I gotta go through most of this level with 3D physics. I'm gonna be jumping around this wall here, falling off here, and then if I boost and jump properly, I can get a homing attack in this section, take these lollipops, boost around here, get another. Didn't hit the automation, but we actually get what is known as a tail save here, which is a new thing with Ultimate. Tail saves are just nice little things that keep your boost and spawn you in different sections compared to the checkpoints, which is very useful in the run. We've used that like right at the start, for which you can do this skip in regular colors, but it's a lot easier with the tail saves now. I'm introduced to another little guy here, Spike Wisp. Gives Sonic back his spin dash from the classic games, and Spike also allows you to stick to walls, which is kind of neat for some platforming here. I don't have to do any of this platforming. I just go right to the end, hit the automation, and we're going through the loop again.
Zip.
And now we're going to be moving on to Sweet Mountain Boss. This one plays a little different from Tropical Resorts. You actually have to play this like small little like 2D level here. I'm going to be waiting at this cannon because that cannon actually holds the Drill Wisp, which is what's going to actually make this boss fight fast. So I'm going to stomp here. Have to be drill, go back and hit him, and that's the first phase. This has 2 phases to it.
Yeah, that really was blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
You know the drill better than I do.
The fun part is that cornering is a lot easier on this version of the game. One thing that I didn't mention is I'm actually playing at 144 FPS, which is a new thing with Colors Ultimate because the game ran at 30 FPS on the Wii. So you're actually able to do a lot of things, and it affects the physics a lot more than it really should. Like, cornering is so much easier with drill. You can do really quick loops. Like the way I did it, have fun doing that at 60 FPS or 30. You're not going to do it that fast. That ends Sweet Mountain. And we're going to be moving on to visually one of the coolest levels in the game. Actually playing it, very boring. It is mostly auto-scrollers. This is the longest world in the game. But it is cool.
It is beautiful, though.
It's so beautiful. I love the aesthetic of this world. Now, I actually didn't carry any boost into this level because after this automation, for whatever reason, air dashing is faster than boosting through this section. So I wanted no boost coming into here. I'm going to be trying for another skip, if I can hopefully get it. Coming attack, boost, and didn't get it. So what I was trying to do was skip over this automation here, which actually allows me to jump to the end of this 2D section. It's fine though, this 2D section is not that long. Just come down here. You can see all these blue rings, our good buddy Cube. I'm not going to be using him though much. Once at the end of this level. And that's pretty much, this is his only appearance, so Cube is very beloved in the Sonic Colors community, but really underused, sadly. We love them all the same, though. And this is another automated section, quick step section. I'm gonna have these motobugs here, and I want to get boost off of them. Just have some boost carry forward into the next level, but there's nothing really to say about this, just a long auto-scroller. So, hey, Satan, if you got anything you want to say, this now is a good time.
All right. Well, we'll start with a message and then I will end with a question. So my first message is that if you're enjoying Hotfix and you want to interact with the showrunners, if you want to talk to other Hotfix enjoyers, you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information. So that's pretty cool. We get to hang out and we get to chat. And speaking of chatting, you said this was your first ever speedrun. How did you get into this game?
I got into this game because originally my first game that I ever messed around with was Sonic Unleashed. Love that game, but I never actually got into running it proper. So this game came out around the time I was really interested in getting into the run. By the way, this is our one use of Cube. Enjoy it as long as you last. As long as it lasts, because it's not going to last long. That's it. But yeah, around the time of this game's release, I wanted to actually get into running. And yeah, this came out. I started learning the run. I was kind of a nobody at the time. Nobody knew who I was. But I gave it my all with this game. My first run, and I eventually was able to, get the world record for 60 FPS, which actually still stands, I believe. I still have world record at 60 FPS, which, for being my first game, a pretty impressive feat. I'm still pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You are talented.
So
we love dedicated and hard-working speedrunners on Hotfix.
So this is a level primarily using Spike, just to get through this section a lot quicker, because you'd have to go do a bunch of nonsense with Cube that's really slow. So yeah, we just use the wall sticking ability to get through that. This cutscene's famous. They're Sonic. He was supposed to be there the whole time, but they never fixed that.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, game.
Thanks, Colors Ultimate. We love you.
Very cool.
And this is the introduction of the yellow springs. We actually don't want to use them because they're really slow. They're auto-scrollers. Can't avoid it here, but for the most part, yeah, I'm skipping over all of them. And we just get to bounce out to the music, see the pretty fireworks in the background, but otherwise I'm kind of stuck here for a bit. Nothing I can do to speed up these vertical sections. I can speed up these horizontal ones, but otherwise, yeah, now I'm stuck again. So the most I can do is just bounce in the music.
We should all bounce to the music. Can I get some jam emotes in chat?
This soundtrack is amazing. If you don't love this soundtrack, there's something I have to say to you.
Each their own, teach their own. I also say this as a very big Sonic Colors soundtrack fan. To each their own.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going for a little bit of a neat trick there. You can run off of these green orbs and do a cool jump to get a little further into the level, just a bit quicker. But didn't jump at the right time. It's a really tight timing. That is fine. You see here, we grab the Frenzy Wisp. Frenzy is also one of the ones that we actually don't really use in the run. And yeah, it's actually, this one is not going to get used at all, because we have a lot of cool things that we do to skip around Frenzy. So yeah, it's Frenzy and Ghost that typically aren't used, but maybe I'll even show them off in AC2. What the heck? Gotta show off all the little creatures.
That is what we're about here at Creature Corner. Creatures. This game has it in spades.
Nothing really I can say about this section either. Just like I said, Starlight Carnival is the home of auto-scrollers.
Sure is. Well, we were just talking about creatures, so I may as well ask you, Neo, what is your favorite wisp to use?
My favorite wisp? I think laser is so fully used in the run. It's the one we use the most and honestly has the best application. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be laser, to be honest.
That makes sense. Yeah. For sure. And then, is that your favorite design-wise, too?
Yes, actually. I mean, I just think shooting off really fast as a beam of light, pretty neat.
I agree. Pretty neat.
Pretty neat. I mean, what else can you really say? That's just really neat. I love the creativity with this game. Sonic Colors is just very cool with its ideas.
Agreed. Definitely one of the first games I thought of planning the transformations show is just like they really take advantage of the wisps and exactly give you so many cool movesets and powers.
Yeah, especially with this green guy right here. This is the hover wisp, and is the wisp actually, hover, of course, but is also the one that gives Sonic back another ability that he had in the older games, the light dash. I don't know why Sonic can't use that now. Who knows? But yeah.
Sometimes he forgets. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes he just kind of doesn't want to do things, but fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah, it's his choice.
Now I'm going to be going for a really tight mash here. One thing I kind of failed to mention with hover is that the mashing that I'm doing, whenever you do the light dash ability with hover, you actually slightly extend the meter. It's a lot like less effective at higher FPSs, but it does allow me to go up to that session, which you're normally not supposed to be able to do with hover. Now we're moving on to the last variation of the bosses in this game. This guy is one of the longer ones and actually requires me to really think a little because we're trying to hit him in a really specific way so that we can end the fight quicker. Now I have to get a little quiet there to count, but what we're doing is actually hitting 10 hits on the core, 9 hits in the core again, and then lasering him. And now I want to pick up the next laser that he drops that comes out of these crates. Now I need him to go to the side for this to actually work properly because I need to hit one of the engines. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Laser again. And it's really important that we do it on the engine because if I would try to go hit the middle again, it would just send me off because I've done the maximum amount of damage to it. So hitting the engine is important. That's the exact amount of damage I needed to end the fight. And yeah, very cool. Speaking of very cool, Planet Wisp, some of the best music in the game. And is beautiful.
For sure. Wooded Kingdom before Wooded Kingdom, I think.
This really is kind of like Wooded Kingdom.
But it's cool. It's different too in its own ways. I mean, does Wooded Kingdom have a blue hedgehog speeding through it? I don't think so.
That's what I prefer. I love Odyssey, but I mean, it's missing the blue guy.
If only.
If only. Now, this is another level that primarily uses Spike. I'm going to be using them to go along these walls really fast. Coming here, doing this full trick ramp. There's no way to get to this section without doing that full trick ramp or you die.
Trick or you die, says Colors.
Look cool or you die. That's Sonic's motto.
That's right. You heard it here first, chat.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. Actually do. That's bad advice. Keep giving bad advice on this show. I'm so sorry.
I'm coming over here. Another good use of wisps just to go around this section and go to the goal ring. Don't do any of the platforming nonsense with the bosses they expect you to do. Now, this is another primarily 2D level where I'm actually gonna try for a neat trick here. About halfway through where we actually use a damage boost to to skip an entire section. It's really tight on the timing, so hopefully I get it. Dead and sad, so we're gonna have to play the level out. But what I would be doing is hitting the top spike so I have iframes, and then jumping off of that last one that I hit so that I can skip this entire section where you actually have to go and hit this button, dodge all these guys. And you'd actually just land up here.
Oh, wow. That is a big skip.
It's really hard to get the timing on that, and honestly my Q has been working less and less the more I've practiced this game, so I don't know what's going on there, but
that is a classic thing for speedrunners. If you haven't speedran a game chat, sometimes a thing that works reliably for you will just stop. It does happen.
It's so fun when that happens.
Yep.
So Planet West 3 is actually really cool because there's a skip that's actually exclusive to Color's Ultimate here. I'm going to be grabbing this laser wisp and taking a death because this death actually gives you a tail save. And the thing with tail saves in quick step sections is that they give you full 3D, which allows me to activate wisps in them, which I'm not able to do. I can use wisps here, shoot all the way up, aim myself, and land right on the goal ring.
That's so sick.
Yeah, if you know how that level usually plays out, that is not even close to how you're supposed to do it. One of the coolest tricks in the game, to be honest. Like I said, there's a lot of flashy tricks in this.
Mm-hmm. It's true, and good movement, too. It's a great run.
Yeah.
Oh, more tricking unless you or you die.
I really want you to see all the cool animations that they did for that. And also hear the announcer. Mm-hmm. The announcer's having such a good time doing that. You see how happy he is seeing Sonic Trick.
Outstanding!
Amazing!
Drill!
The announcer is loving what's going on here. Can't blame him.
I exactly. I was gonna say we clown on the announcer, but the announcer's right. If I saw this in real life, I don't know what I would be doing.
Exactly. You don't see a blue hedgehog turning into different critters every day.
Exactly.
Another really short level. Not much to say there, besides a couple of cool jumps. Then we move on to PW6, Planet West 6. And we're gonna be kind of going for something a little neat here. Less a huge skip, but just like using the 3D and 2D transitions to get a lot farther into the 2D section than normally. So I'm gonna be coming here, boosting, jumping over this.
Oh.
And if I did it right, I just boost, fly through that level, and then I land all the way here, skipping a decent chunk of the 2D section.
Radical.
I can be really confident here because all of these platform cycles are local for whatever reason. And then another trick ramp where I'm actually just only going to get the good. And Spike is now going to be used again because the section is extremely vertical. Don't have Rocket, but we do have Spike, who can climb walls very fast and land right on the goal ring. So for this next boss, this is when we actually start seeing repeat bosses, but they change how they work. So I actually want to come over here and grab the spike that's on this like spinning platforms. It's really hard to explain as I'm doing it because this trick is really tight. But yeah, we use the little spinning platforms to get a quick hit on this guy, because if I didn't do it the way that I just showed it off there, I would have had to go through like 20 second like attack animation that's really slow, and I can't do anything about it because I'm stuck in Spike. Now we're loading into Aquarium Park, also another visually really cool stage. And I'm gonna be grabbing this laser wisp for another cool 3D and 2D here. It's one of the hardest ones in the game. I'm coming here, lasering above. I'm out of bounds right now. I'm gonna be running across this little lane here, and If I jump at the right time, I can got bumped by the ceiling, sad. So yeah, I'm not gonna go for that again because it's just extremely hard.
And it looked really cool for what we already saw.
Yeah, it gets even cooler than that. But I mean, if you want to
Twitch.tv. Yep, /newsr. I can't say it enough.
If you like Sonic runs, I do a lot of Sonic runs.
And also,
if you're up to date on Sonic, there might be a reason that I'm going to be playing a lot of Unleashed. Unleashed is really cool.
Ooh. Unleashed is awesome too.
No. But your PC can now be an Unleashed machine.
It's true. It's unleashed the power of Unleashed PC.
Finally unleash the power for everyone to see in all its glory.
Exactly.
I'm going to be using Drill to come through here again. Drill also can be used underwater. Much like the thing. The physics change a little, but, you know, same idea, really. Small quick step section here. I'm going to be jumping over this and coming here, grabbing this drill west. I want to actually kill this fish because that one drops a bit of boost that would be nice to have in the rest of the level. AP2, another really short one if I do it correctly. Boost is really nice to have in this level. Did miss the spring, but that's fine. Let's come here. Get a stomp off this guy. Help me attack that one. And then, yeah, that's the end of the stage. That's honestly, even with the death, still an 18-second stage, very short. Now, this is... AP3 is one of the least interesting stages in the run because it is mostly all underwater. There's nothing really cool here. So I'm going to be coming down here. It's actually a lot faster to take the water than to go the upper route. That's the funny thing with these games is now, you'd think in Sonic, it's usually the same. Sonic has always just been about if you can get to the top route, which is the harder route, you have the faster route. This game, a lot of boost games really break that convention because, yeah, this is by far the faster one because there is, once again, another elevator that you have to go on if you don't do this, which is extremely slow. Instead, we can beat it in 48 seconds doing the slow thing. And at the start of this stage, I actually want to come over here and grab this drill wisp because this actually gives me a laser wisp off the start, which is nice because I can come here, laser this part, skip a small little puzzle here.
Seeing you move left at the beginning of a stage is unnatural. Sorry, just had to say that.
It's like criminal, yeah. You never think of it, but it's fast. It's that's fast.
Try new things every day, chat. That's what we're learning.
You'll never know what you discover. But yeah, the gimmick of the stage, a lot more drill wisping, and this entire stage is actually like a corkscrew. It's really hard to tell just playing the game casually, but I'm actually going through levels here, so that's why drilling and going through those pipes is really nice, because I'm just skipping layers that I'd have to do. Now, we come here. This is the first chaser section. Laser guy, don't know what to call him, but he sucks, especially if you're playing on console, because if you played this game on console, you see those little laser indicators that tell me what lane he's shooting. I don't think they ever fixed that on console, and you can't see them.
Oh no.
But on PC, we can at least get a warning, which is nice. It's not really going to super matter though, because I have managed my boost in a way where I don't even have to worry about which lane he's shooting in. I just boost ahead of all of his attacks.
It just does not catch up to you. Wow.
So yeah, a little trick if you can't beat that section properly on a console, just have enough boost.
Fair enough. Go fast.
And using all that boost there is nice because I actually don't want boost in this level. This is another reintroduction of those yellow springs, but this one, we actually can like make progress in the level without using them. I'm gonna try again there because dashed a little early, but the main idea here is that you go through all this platforming with air dashes to bring the camera with you so you can see everything. You can't actually do this entire thing without seeing anything, but really hard. And doesn't really save time, so
that is a swag strat, but probably not one to go for.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks a lot cooler to skip it with Sonic on camera anyway. Who wants to see me do?
True.
Who wants to just see nothing? All right.
See nothing. The speedrun.
So this is another section where these yellow springs are going vertical. I can't do anything about it. And it's very much a tradition when you get to this section to be a little musical.
Or jam emotes chat. And while we're here, I just want to remind everybody that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays. So yep, if you've got a Prime hanging around, or if you just want to get some access to those amazing Velocity and Coop and Faith and Joy's emotes, you know what to do. More creatures
They're
for
amazing
everybody.
emotes. Yeah, if you like creatures, if you're a fan of this show and like creatures, there's some amazing emotes you can get with just one sub.
It's one.
So this section here, I'm actually going to be taking the right side because this gives me a hover wisp. Hover is going to be really important in this level because I'm going to be taking this guy through here and going on this actual secret path that you wouldn't know about. I'm going to be taking this hover wisp further into the level, into the skydive section. There's another secret path that you can take up here. And if I do it correctly, and use this hover right at the top, I'm actually able to skip this middle section, which is just a full fight section, which is really slow, and land in the 2D section with 3D physics again. So I'm actually just able to come around 3D underwater physics and just boost to the gold ring if I can get to it. Pookie.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, the camera doesn't like to cooperate there, and if you go out of bounds, then it just blocks your vision. It's really neat. So this fight is going to be really similar to Sweet Mountain Boss. The drill wisp is actually hidden in these like missiles, and you have to guide this missile to the actual end of the 2D section to be able to transition to the boss phase. And the boss phase really sucks. I don't know if I'm gonna get this head off. We're gonna see. And use drill here, boost, and we did get it. Okay, so
nice.
how that guy spawns is like almost entirely random on the first phase. So if I drilled him, if I did miss the drill, the fun part with 144 FPS is that he goes a lot faster than he's really supposed to, and you actually cannot catch up to him. So you then have to play the boss without the wisp, which is hitting him 3 times with Sonic. It's really slow and unfun. The second phase though was a lot more consistent. All I have to do is jump dash, line up with the background, and hit him again. And that's the end of that boss.
Very well done.
Something funny you can do if you're good at mashing. But yeah, so that's the end of Aquarium Park, and moving on to the final real world of the game, Asteroid Coaster.
Oh, so iconic.
Yeah.
I remember getting here in my casual playthrough, and I was like, why doesn't every game have an asteroid coaster? Look at it.
If more games had Asteroid Coasters, that's just instant, like, I'll play it. You're
exactly.
missing out on
Instant
sales by just not putting another Asteroid Coaster.
By not
Come on,
putting
guys.
Asteroid Coaster in your game. There's what, 3 games on the planet that have Asteroid Coaster? That is not enough.
Not enough. Fun little skip here. You can actually just jump out there and go to this further section in. Skip's having to use Frenzy to get through that section. This is technically the first introduction, if you're playing any percent, to getting Frenzy. Frenzy is introduced in this level, but we're not going to use Frenzy. At least here yet. There's a small section where I will probably just use them just for funsies, but typically in this level you really don't want to use them. Now I have 3D physics here to be able to boost through, jump out, skip a lot of 2D platforming, and come here, get a couple of perfect homing attacks so I can just boost to the end of the level. Perfect homing attacks are something that I forgot to mention. Ultimate introduce them, and every time you hit one with the green reticle in the circle, you actually get a little bit of boost from it, which is really nice. Here I'll use Frenzy. You typically don't use Frenzy. It's actually faster to do this section without him, but he's a cool guy. You can just break everything. He's neat.
Frenzy is neat. I appreciate you putting the creatures and the critters and the corners on stream for us all to see.
I try. I mean, you can't be not using the creatures on the creature show. Now, AC2 is really infamous for having one of the visually flashiest skips in the game. Also one of the hardest. I'm gonna kind of be quiet here because I want to focus on this one, because I can lose a lot of time if I don't hit this. Okay, so we mostly did it. Now I have 3D physics in this section. What I would actually wanted is to be able to get that gravity change and boost to the end of the level. This is still fine though. We actually skip quite a bit because I have 3D physics. So jumping here, boosting, sends me really fast. I'm able to skip all of the walls.
Nice.
Asteroid Coaster 3, shortest level in the game. Blink and you miss it. I'm here, bounce off that guy, go up there, and 4-second stage.
Okay. You were not lying.
Yeah. There's a lot of points in this run where this game goes really fast. Sonic game, so
yeah, Sonic game.
This is one of those sections where it doesn't. This is just a 4-lap course where I'm just jumping around here to have the highest speed. It's actually faster to do this than to boost. And yeah, I'm gonna be coming here. This is the section where I want to actually move over here because the gold ring doesn't spawn unless you hit a button that's on the right side. And then, yeah, you just come here. It's a 29-second stage, extremely consistent.
29 seconds, world record.
I'm gonna be damage boosting a lot through these laser things like I was in SM4. I'm coming here and doing a laser off of this guy. Typically you'd want to use Frenzy here, but it's just faster to line up on that box and then kill those other two guys than it is to use Frenzy to spawn the gold ring, because the gold ring won't spawn unless all those guys are dead. And because of Egg Shuttle allowing you to bring boost over in levels, we're able to do a small little skip here if I can hit it. And hit those gold rings, and I don't have to go around that planet. Name that one Supersonic Speed. If you know, you know. And I won't explain it any further than that. We come here, ride these coasters, and there's going to be another big 3D and 2D that we do here. That's actually a lot harder on 144 because of the way that they do physics. I'm going to be actually clipping through a wall, and the game actually checks your position a lot more because of the higher frame rate. So I gotta do a really specific setup to get this. So I'm coming up here. I'm going to bounce off of these pegs, and I'm going to be coming back to them. It's a lot easier to hit this trick if I come in through the top. I'm coming here, boost stomping. I'm going to be doing a couple jumps. I actually got through. So now I'm like in the wall, stomping down. And if I come to this, like, there's like a triangle here that you're actually able to break out and get 3D physics. So I'm actually able to boost into the level. That's the end of the level there. There's like some mini boss they want you to fight, but that's really slow. So we just go to the goal right out of bounds.
There's something the game wants you to do.
And now this is gonna be like Starlight Carnivals, except the kill strategy is a lot different here. I'm actually only gonna do 6 hits because that's what spawns the Rocket Wisp, which is what we're gonna use to kill this guy. And I'm only gonna do 1 hit on this one to send him into 2D. In Starlight Carnival, you really don't want to go into 2D, but this is when you're able to use Rocket Wisp. And a little funny quirk with Rocket Wisp in this game, you can do this on like any version of the game. It's faster on 144, but if I were to just rocket him and stomp, that's the boss dead.
That should put a stop to this wisp-draining insanity.
Sonic. Sorry, just
There's funny little lines in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually able to do that on like any version of the game. The kill strategy is a little different at the end, but on 144, all you do is just rocket and just stomp, and you win the fight. And we move on to Terminal Velocity. Ooh. This is final world of the game. I don't know if I really want to call it a world because it's only 3 acts, but you know. So this is all quick step section. There's really nothing to say here, to be honest. I'm just holding forward and just try not to get hit. The end of this stage, though, I'm going to be doing something to go a little faster. There's an enemy that comes back that is actually a really big pain in the butt. But it's not in this section yet. We come to this Motobug section where there's a lot of Motobugs around that will be like trying to hit you, but fun fact, if you just hold the left stick down and do nothing, they will never hit you. Do nothing and you win.
Okay. Noted. You can try that at home, everybody.
Yeah. So this is the section where we get introduced back to the laser guy from AP4. This one sucks a little though because primarily the way you want to get away from him is to boost through this section, but we don't have a lot of boost. So what I'm actually going to do here is boost into jump. And that actually, the jumping lets me keep my boost speed up. Lets me conserve a lot more boost. Didn't grab a lot of boost because this part is where it really sucks. You cannot see which lane he's shooting into. I'm in a dangerously low amount of boost, but I should still be able to make this work. Yeah. See, this is where it's scary because now I gotta jump every time. Need lasers.
Hard mode.
But
Got
we're
this.
fine.
Yay!
It's nothing too scary.
Of course not.
And now we move on to the final boss. This one, you might be familiar with it if you played any modern Sonic game in the past, in like the 2010s, because this is the only boss they ever made and put it into 3 games. It's really cool. I really love that this is a recycled boss.
And they're just trying to be environmentally conscious. It's okay.
Yeah, true. If you just reuse the same robot parts, you're not harming the environment. Harming the environment's bad, people.
Right, exactly. And we know Eggman would never do such a thing.
And yeah, no, he would never think to do that. So one thing I'm not mentioning with this final boss is that I am going for perfect homing attacks. You are able to skip animations that play when you're doing attacks. And this is the most RNG part of the run. I got one of the, not the slowest attacks. He can do like 4 different variations of attacks with combining wisps, and that was one of the least slow ones. What's really slow is when he combines laser and cube. And spike and cube. Those are both really slow. That little animation that I got there was me doing the animation that you skip if you do perfect homing attacks. And then this section where he does these attacks, this is all scripted. As long as I don't get hit, it'll just be spike into cube into laser. Come through here, quick step through this section. then jumps over all his lasers. You can appreciate the really good remix of Reach for the Stars. It's a shame that this boss is so easy and short, because this is a really good orchestrated version of the song. But yeah, that's basically the boss dead. You just wait for the game to give me the ability to use the wisps. Ultimate colors, all the wisps fly up, and I just, at the end, homing attack, and that's the boss dead.
GG!
And he flies off, Team Rocket style, and just... it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Now, we're going to be coming up on the end of the run right now. Sonic's running away from a black hole. Kind of scary. Don't worry about the lore implications of that. We don't need that next shuttle. But this is just going to get the same time pretty much every time we do this. It's going to be around 28 seconds, if I remember correctly. This time will be coming up in a second here. Just jump over this last thing and now we're safe. So, yeah. I'm going to be ending now. And that is Egg Shuttle.
GG, fantastic run.
Thank you. Yeah, so ended with a 44.25. It's a little slower than I would have liked, but I mean, this is a really hard run with the tricks that you do at top level. So honestly, it's pretty good showing in my opinion. I do love this run a lot, and I haven't been doing it much lately, but this one does. Like I said, I held world record in it at some point, so it's got a really special part in my heart that I do love it for.
Well, you did fantastic. I still can't believe this game is even possible in under an hour. You did an amazing job. Where can the people find you, and what kind of shoutouts would you like to do? Ending your ending.
The people can find me. I stream on Twitch under NewSR. We'll be doing, like I said, I do a lot of Sonic runs there. So any variety of 3D Sonic, you'll eventually find me doing it. So I'd appreciate it if you come check me out. I'm also on Blue Sky under New Durgy, I believe is my handle there. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. I'm going to be posting a lot to YouTube now because apparently we need to do that. But yeah, so that's pretty much where you can find me. I guess if I'm going to shout anyone out, I want to shout out the entire Sonic speedrunning community, the classic era, Sacer, the Sonic Adventure era speedruns, and all the Boost modern. Just made a lot of friends in this community, and they're all awesome. Just love all of those guys, and especially shouting out my friends, a lot of top runners, Sbarro, Deku, SR, or just a lot of the people that initially were there when I really started running the game, and became pretty good friends with them. So yeah.
Well, that was incredible. Thank you so much for being here. And, well, that's a wrap on the first show of Creature Corner here on GDQ Hotfix, the show featuring non-human protagonists and characters and the like. I hope that you all had a fantastic time. And if you missed out on the premiere of either of the new shows, including mine, here on GDQ Hotfix, stay tuned as we replay Out of the Box and Creature Corner next. And also, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern for GDC Nights, live from the Game Developers Conference. Thank you so much all for being here tonight.